No, it's true. There are a bipartisan group of lawmakers that are looking to solve the decades-old UFO mystery. Today, Senate Armed Services Subcommittee on Emerging Threats and Capabilities are holding only the second hearing that we've ever had on this in over 50 years. Uh-huh. Yep. They have a couple of things. They have some, there's a web page on it in the United States Senate Service Committee, United States Senate Committee on Armed Services. There's not really anything. They don't have anything on the page, but they say that the Department of Defense, after all of this stuff with the Navy fighter jets and seeing all these unidentified, phenomena or unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, there was this publication in 2017 of all of this crazy video that was recorded by Navy fighter jets and briefings by naval aviators who were witnessing all of these weird objects that maneuvered in just extraordinary fashion. And so they said, yeah, we need to have some hearings on this. We've got to talk about this. So the DOD established this All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO. And they got a pretty big hand of authority to analyze UFOs, and this is how it's written via the Hill, that exceed the known state of the art in science or technology. And so to cut through some of the bureaucracy, lawmakers demanded that AARO's director report to top Pentagon and Intel community leadership. So that's going to be there's only one witness in today's hearing, and it's the UAP office director. And they're going to I'm sure they're going to ask about funding and, the scientific mission and how they're executing said mission, et cetera. I'm sure that there's going to be some discussion on the, the Chinese balloons. But this was weird in that it's based on that 2017 report. They said that and this is from BBC, of the 500 plus UAP reports by service members in recent years, they were asking as to how many were considered to have remarkable flight characteristics and whether the AARO had confidence that these UAPs exhibited highly advanced tech. And they had this 2022 assessment that said 366 of the most recently reported UAP incidents, they said, judged more than half as exhibiting unremarkable characteristics. So that means, or at least intimates, that 150 of these reports involve objects that demonstrated pretty remarkable characteristics that you couldn't just say that was clutter or that's a spy balloon or something like that. Because the one thing that it shared is they had unbelievable maneuvering capability. And in some of the video footage, if you see, you have stuff that moves faster than it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't even know how to describe it. You've seen some of the video, right, Kane? I don't know how to describe some of the objects moving. I really don't. I've watched some of this stuff a million times. I don't know how you describe the movement of it.
It's pretty amazing. Amazing. How else can you describe it?
Like what? Like how does it operate?
It defies physics as we know it.
Yeah. So they said that the UAP that they were looking at, and it's implying here that this is like 150 of the 150 reports, quote, appeared to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or move at considerable speed without discernible means of propulsion. Now, the stuff that's been released is so heavily redacted. We kind of joked about this when it came out. There were literal pages where it's just entire black boxes, page after page. So much is redacted. But in spite of that, you can still see that, these naval pilots are, they're blown away by this stuff. There was a piece that the Hill wrote. This was in July of 22. And it said that in April of 2014, 4 naval aviators narrowly escaped disaster. They entered highly controlled airspace for a training exercise. They said their 2 FA-18F fighter jets nearly collided with a UFO. They said that they were frustrated. Dozens of their fellow aviators were frustrated because they said that people have to address it because it made it a near catastrophe inevitable. And they said that the flight characteristics are highly unusual, et cetera, et cetera. That's what and they were really frustrated by this. Man, why are we not talking more about this? This would be the time where government's like, okay, let's go ahead and release some of this UFO stuff while everybody's distracted.
That's exactly what they'll use it for.
I mean, if the government were gonna come out and be like, guys, yeah, there's some aliens out there, and we don't know if they hate us or not. I mean, this would be the time to do it, right? Like, spark a giant political slap fight. Everybody's looking one way, and then here it reminds me. It was this. What is this movie called? I watched this the other day off chance. Hang on, I'm gonna Google this because it reminded me of this movie. It was oh, I guess it was. I guess it was. No, it was not Aliens versus. I can't remember what it was called. I'll find out. Anyway, it was about this this movie where you had zombies and vampires and all of this stuff, and everyone was figuring out how freaks of nature. It's called Freaks of Nature. And they're all trying to figure out all these different outcasts that are in all of these different, like some are zombies, some are this. They're all trying to figure out how to live together. Nobody gets along. They're all like super hyper focused on their own problems, and they're dealing with their own issues, and et cetera, et cetera. And then aliens come. An actual Armageddon alien invasion. And they are so busy fighting each other that they didn't even know that a literal, actual Orwellian, or not Orwellian, but this giant alien invasion was happening. And it was actually it's a funny movie. It's a comedy. War of the Worlds. Yeah, it's like some War of the Worlds stuff. I mean, legit like that, like giant War of the Worlds type aliens. And so it made me think of that. Like, man, if you were going to, really drop something about that, that's when you do it.